guys and girls, and welcome to the draft analysis for GPC Season 5. Yeah, GPC, that's the league I will be playing in the off-season of the GBA. If you're not following my Twitter, you don't know that, but this is basically the announcement video. Hey, I'm the GPC, and hey, this is my draft. If you didn't know, GPC is actually the league I originated from. The first 2 seasons I was part of this league after I got invited to the GBA. And yeah, now I'm back to maybe get another title, because if you don't know, the first season I actually won. And yeah, my plan is actually to repeat the title, and with some mons I want to try out. There's a lot of new stuff on this team. There are 3 mons I want to try out. Maybe 4, but one I couldn't get. Like 3 I want to try out and I actually got. So, and I try to build around, I want to draft them and I kind of build around them, if you want to see like that. So it's some new stuff, maybe weird stuff, I don't know what you think, but yeah. That's the draft analysis. Not as much of an analysis as more of a showcase as I used to do, because I don't want to give out all the details of what the mons can do, what I plan to do with them for the other coaches looking at this. And yeah. So yeah, GPC draft system, let's start with that. Actually, it's different from the GBA. We have a budget of 100 points. Every single mon has its own point value, and you can basically buy your mons with your points, with your budget. If you have no budget left, you cannot pick any more mons up, and yeah, you have at least 8 and a maximum of 12. So it differs. You can draft the Mega and the and the standard form separately. And what else? Actually, you don't have to Mega all first turn. That's something the GPC is doing, so you can, it's more like Smogon in that regard, but you can decide when to Mega and stuff like that. The most expensive one, I think, is Mega Ladias at 20 points, and the lowest is just 1 point, like leftovers, like not fully worth mons, stuff like that. Some of them, of course, are higher priced, but most of them are like at 1 point, stuff like that. So yeah, like you can see from the layout already, I think you see that I drafted 10 mons, so that worked out pretty well. So yeah, let's start. Oh, that my first round pick was actually Excadrill. Like you can see, Excadrill is great, costs 17, pretty expensive, but great spinner, potential Sandrock Sweeper if I can get a Sandstar with that, and I mean, you know what Excadrill does. I was actually pretty late in the draft, so I could pick a pair of mons that actually only got to the first pair, because after that because I was in the vacation of that and stuff like that, and some miscommunication with the admins and me, I basically got my first 2 mons as regular drafting, and the rest I had to pick up from leftovers, what was left after the rest of the crew basically was drafted. But that's didn't end up bad. I'm very happy with my team still, so I mean, it was a little disadvantage, but I'm still very happy with my team. I could make a transfer with another coach, so in the end, it all worked out well. But yeah, the first pair I got was first I got Excadrill. Great spinner, great offensive stats, steel ground type, of course. Look at the HP set, look at the attack set. The HP set is very surprising for many people, that it can actually take some hits, even though the defensive are pretty lackluster. But yeah, Mold Breaker Earthquake is perfect if you want to get these levitators with a nice stab Earthquake with a huge attack set. But I mean, Excadrill, you know what Excadrill does. It's a spinner, it's offensive. If you have a sand set or a manual sand, it can sweep teams, because I mean, 88 speed is decent, but with sand it actually gets the speed to sweep some teams. Sword Sands, Rapid Spin, Iron Head, Knockoff, Rock Slide, no Stone Age, but yeah, I mean, it's Excadrill. You know what Excadrill does. Great mon, great first pick. And the second mon I got is Crobat. You know him, you love him. He is back from my GBA squad. In the first season I was in with 13 points. Yeah, same, Crobat. You know what Crobat does? In my opinion, it's the best hazard remover in the game. Just for the hazard removing part. Like the other mons, like for example Zapdos or Laditwist, arguably better mons than Crobat. I agree with that. But Crobat, if it's solely for the part of hazard removing, Crobat is the mon you're looking for. That blistering speed at 130, you are almost guaranteed to get a defog off, because you die. So I love Crobat. He was a great stable on my team in the GBA, where I actually did good. Last season, of course, not so well. But yeah, Taunt Shenanigans, Light Recovery, Quad resistant to the fighting and immune to ground, of course, so nice synergy with Excadrill already. And like you can see here, I'm getting a lot of hazard removal, like with Excadrill and Crobat. I mean, that's basically all the hazard removal I will get in this draft, I think. But yeah, you always want to have your hazard removal early, so I decided to get these 2 mons first. You know what Crobat does, very speedy, very utility based. You can run him, of course, offensive. The fancy Nasty Plot variant I ran once, maybe that's coming back. But Crobat is more of a utility mon. You usually don't see him really as a shining offensive mon. even though he has that option with either Nasty Plot or even just Bandit Life or Brave Birds. No one likes taking Brave Bird. Flying Spam is a very nice tactic versus other mons. And of course, yeah, with that speed, it's not that bulky, but because of that speed, it can be very bulky. It has the Talonflame effect, if you want to call it, because of the speed. And the Sableye. Sableye and Talonflame are not very bulky, but still, you see the Special Defense Talonflame taking mons on forever. Same with Sableye, taking on mons forever, and that's because of priority recovery in Galewing's Roost or Prankster Recover. This thing has kind of the same with a very speedy Roost, so even though it's not that bulky, it can take can use it as a defensive role very easily, because priority recovery, or at least fast recovery, is very valuable for a defensive mon. But yeah, that's Crobat. Let's go on to the next pick. I actually got the Sand Setter, which is Tyranitar. Now the mons are all like, these are actual draft picks. Now I could basically pick them all, though there's no actual order in which I picked them. It's just the order in which I would have drafted them. So yeah, let's go with that. Tyranitar, Sand Setter, of course, for Excadrill, so I got that Sand offense going now. Excadrill just got double more the threat, and Tyranitar itself is great. 4 times weak to fighting, of course, you have to look out for that. 4 times weaknesses are always a struggle in League format. But Tyranitar has the bulk to back it up. Like, non-stab fighting moves are not killing this thing. The Spadef is even boosted by the Sand, the defense is even higher than the Spadef. So yeah, unless you're not stab fighting move, you won't be killing this thing. Even though Focus Blast is very strong in the Sand with the Red Enlistment, this thing is taking these hits very easily. And of course there's the Chocolate Berry. Great mixed offensive capabilities with a great attack stat at 134, actually only 1 point lower than Excadrill, and a nice special attack stat of 95, so definitely can run that mix, can run that defensive. It's my first decent Stealth Rock, I want to say, because usually you don't want to run Excadrill as a Stealth Rocker. It's a more of an offensive mon. Tyranitar is my first Stealth Rocker on the team. Of course, he's pretty slow, but he's one of the pseudo legendaries, so his stats are off the charts, barring the speed, of course. Like, look at the HP, look at the attack, defense. Like, all these stats are very, very high. Only the speed is lackluster, but of course, maybe a Rock Polished Dragon Dance setup variants are there. That's Tyranitar, mainly for the Sand with Excadrill. Great pairing, you see them often on this OU ladder, so yeah. That's Tyranitar, very good Pursuit Trapper too. Which is nice for the next one, which is my Mega Charizard Y. This was one of the 3 mons I was talking about, I wanted to try out. And then I was thinking, what can I pair with Charizard Y? Sand. Sand is like the most, what you see most in Lana. Tyranitar with Sand. What works well with Sand? Excadrill. And what do I need? 2 for Mega Charizard Y. Good hazard removal because of that painful 4 times weakness to rocks. That's why I have Excadrill Root Rabbit Spin. Crobat, very reliable hazard removal. Now I have Charizard Y. Excellent Wall Break that lifts the sun up. It's basically a free choice specs where you can switch up moves, and it already has 159 special attack stat, be it air slash, be it 4 fire moves, of course, only, and Solar Beam without the charging up. So water types are no switch into the thing with the Solar Beam. Good speed for a Wall Breaker. For sweeping, I would have to go, would need a setup move, but this thing gets Dragon Dance, and with a 104 attack stat, it's actually pretty good. And especially if you take into account that with the Sun Up, it's 2 a free choice band for the physical fire moves like Flare Blitz, Fire Punch, and all that. So great mixed capabilities as well. Your opponent can't just bring a mono physically defensive mon. If he does resist fire, that's another story, but he cannot bring a only especially defensive to this, not physically, of course. Especially defensive mon to deal with that thing, he has to be scared of some Flare Blitz shenanigans as well. Great Wall Breaker. I like it for the price of 12 points. And basically these first 4 months are like very pricey already. I'm like 17, 14, 15 and 12 points. Like more than half of my budget is already gone, but this was the core I wanted, the 4-mon core, which I wanted in the first 4 picks. I got them thankfully through some shenanigans. Tyranitar actually was drafted from another coach, but I could make some, he wanted to make some changes to the team, so I could pick up Tyranitar. So yeah, I'm glad I could do that. Great Spadef too with the 115. Special defensive, of course, you won't see Mega Charizard often because of that Stealth Rock weakness. Even if you're special defensive, after you lost half of your health, you're not taking too many hits, even if they're on your better defensive side. But yeah, that's Mega Charizard for you. I wanted that thing. Great Wall Breaker. I want to try the thing out. That's why I drafted it. And yeah, 4 picks. What am I still missing is a bulky water, and I'm kind of weak to fighting. Like, Excadrill Tyranitar is very weak to fighting. Of course, I got 2 resists in Crobat, and Charizard already, but Charizard is not the one you want to switch in often, because of course of the rocks thing, and because it's not that defensive, of course, especially on the defensive side. Crobat is another story, you can basically switch it in, but I wanted something bulky. Like, I only got like offensive mons in the Tyranitar, which is like offensive and still a bit defensive, but I wanted defensive mon, and why not get Slowking? The best bulky water, which was still available in my opinion. Nice for the psychic typing, helps obviously fighting weakness, and you know Slowking. Another returning member of the God Squad, let's call it that, of the GBA Season 5? Season 5? I think it was Season 5. Yeah, Season 6 was now also Season 5. With Crobat and Slowking, they know each other very well. I'm gonna use that again. What can I say about Slowking? Great coverage on the special side. Power Gem, Fire Blast, Scald, Ice Beam, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, all this good stuff. Great coverage, so it's not a defensive one you can easily set up on. Of course, Call My Trick Room, other shenanigans this thing can do, Thunder Wave, and of course the Regenerator with Slack Off. This thing ain't dying soon. Great Spadef. Defense not that good, but of course it's like Slow Row is more defensive, this thing is more especially defensive. I usually like Slowking more, because physical defense you can easily run on other mons, but I like Slowking. Like, yeah, I like Slowking. What else can I say? You saw what I did with, in the Season 5 of GBA. I'm trying to repeat that. I think it did a decent good job with Slowking, but yeah, that's my first more defensive mon, let's say, like that, with the water typing, and now I'm starting to get a fire water core. What I need is the grass mon, and what other grass mon does work very good with my Charizard than Venusaur. Actually a very cheap mon with 7 points in my opinion, and with the Sun, I not only got a very defensive mon with Venusaur, I got a very potent offensive threat. I have the double team, double weather offense now with Exeggutor, Cheetah, and Charizard Y and Venusaur. The people have to prepare for both, and I don't even have to bring one of them. Like, my team works without Sand, it works without Sun. Like, I don't have to bring Cheetah, I don't have to bring Charizard Y. The threats itself are already there with the upcoming picks, you will see. But I like Venusaur not only for the offensive part with the Chlorophyll. Venusaur is often overseen as a bulky grass type. Like, it's obviously overshadowed by Roserade, Shaman, Tangrowth, Amoonguss and stuff like that, but it's still very good. A very, very decent defensive grass type with still offensive capabilities, 100 special attack, 82 attack stats, so I can actually run some knockoff Earthquake if I need the coverage, and of course Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, Synthesis, all this good stuff. And for 7 points, and with the potential for Sunsweeping Venusaur, I like that a lot. Like I said, you basically don't see it draft that often, because the Mega is just better, of course, that's why it's a Mega, it's usually always better. And Venusaur gets overshadowed by other many grass types, but it's still very capable of warning some stuff and be defensive, and still has the offensive option with the Sun, of course. Next up, we got the second of the 3 mons I wanted to try out so badly. Another very expensive pick, but I do not have a Dragon yet, and a Dragon I want to try out so badly in League format is Dragonite. Dragonite has so good capabilities, special, physical, of course, physical extreme speed, very good. Dragon Dance, multi-scale, defensive even, 91 HP, 95 defense, 100 Spadef. This thing ain't dying fast, even with the 4 times weakness to ice. If you have the right distance, you can easily survive. As multi-scale, of course, you will always survive. But with sand and rocks, I can't rely on multi-scale too often. Otherwise I don't bring Cheetah, or I have to care about hazards, which I have to either way because of Charizard. But with Crobat and Exeggutor, I have that covered, of course. Nice Dragon. I love Dragonite. I wanted to try it out so badly. Like, just the defensive, the offensive, special offense, all the options with Dragonite. You don't saw the. I don't think you saw the whole spectrum of what Dragonite can do in League format on the leagues I watched, of course. Maybe there's some smaller league which did show off Dragonite to the extent that I would be content with it, but I would try it. I don't know if I will succeed, but Dragonite, like with Charizard Y, was one of the mons I definitely wanted to try out. And yeah, here it is, another pricey one with 14 points, and my last pick will be very budget picks because I'm running low on points. But yeah, Dragonite, like I said, I don't want to go too much into detail about what moves it can. It gets just too many, but just the Dragon Dance threat is a very big threat to many teams. They always will have an answer for that, and I don't even have to ring it. Like, I have very offensive capabilities. Next up, Ice Delete Fairy. The fairies were all gone. Like, all the very good fairies are, of course, gone in the draft. If I had to pick from leftovers, there are 2 good fairies left, or 2 fairies left I would accept. One of them is Aromatisse, but Aromatisse is more expensive than the one I drafted, and Aromatisse, I already got that last season. It was good, it was decent, I liked Aromatisse, but I want to try more new stuff. and that is Diancie. I got Diancie with only 4 points, Rock Fairy type. With the Rock typing, the Spadef actually get boosted by the Sand of Tita if I decide to bring that. Very good attack stat, very good special attack stat, good attack stat, special attack stat it is with 100, 115 defense, 115 special defense, very good, and bad HP and bad speed. Like Diancie, it's not one of the big fairies, it's one of the decent fairies, I want to say. With this defensive, even though it's 4 times weak to steel, this thing is not dying very soon, and steel is not a good coverage you usually have. Like steel does not hit many types. Like for example, if you're 4 times weak to ice, usually it's not a problem if to run Hidden Power Ice on your mon to hit that thing, because Ice is very good offensive typing. You're usually not only hitting that with Hidden Power Ice, there are other things you hit with HP Ice too. But Steel is a hidden power or coverage you usually have only for one mon, so you don't want to run that too often. So I'm not concerned with that. Of course I have to worry about that, but like Diancie is a 4-point mon. I won't bring that too often, of course. But the option just to having a fairy, another Trick Room setup, like Trick Room potential is there with Slowking and the Diancie. One of the ones I want to try out. It was not on my list originally, but when I saw it, I definitely saw Diancie. That's the thing I want to try out. So, yeah, very good defensive, Moonblast Stab, Diamond Storm Stab, Earth Power, and all the fairy shenanigans it can do. I very much like my Diancie pick, and we'll see how it performs. Maybe it sucks, maybe it's good. This season I'm there to find out. The potential is there. Let's see if I can unleash it. Next up is actually the third mon I want to try out going into this draft, because it's very cheap on this system. In the GBA it's very high tier, it's actually tier 2, so you have to invest a lot of your team, or of your potential of your team, to actually get that and try it out. Here it's not that big, it's only 6 points, and it's Hawlucha. Hawlucha is very speedy, not very offensive, like it's very weak. That's what many people drafted Hawlucha complain about, that it's very weak. It just does not get the damage output you want to have without the setup. But I still want to try it. It's only 6 points, it's my fighting type, I want to still a fighting type, and I got a lot of flying types already, so flying spam is the thing with my team. But Hawlucha I would definitely want to try out. It's another Earthquake immunity. It's not weak to rocks, even though it's a flying type. And yeah, like it's utility, offensive, Baton Pass shenanigans, Ruse, Taunt, U-turn, all the stuff. It's kind of like Crobat in a way. A Crobat with good setup, I want to say. It's like a Crobat with good setup but without defog. It's kind of similar. Unless I want to go full flying spam, I probably won't bring them both. But I still like the options Hawlucha gives me and the potential it has. I want to try it out. Many people did say Hawlucha is very lackluster, but I want to find out myself. You don't trust the opinion of others, you want to try it yourself, and that's why Hawlucha is here. I will see, maybe I can make it shine, maybe it is really as bad as people try to tell me. But yeah, I'm here to find that out with Hawlucha. And my last pick, I actually had 1 point left, and so I had to look at the mons which are not even on the list, which are left. What 1 point mon could I get? Like, just having 1 point left for a potential transfer phase, it does not hurt just investing the 1 point into a mon, be it a meme pick, just so it's there, or be it actually something viable. And I looked at the mon, and I fell in love with it once I saw it for 1 point. I definitely wanted that for 1 point, because it gives me something I don't have right now, which is for 1 point, is Pikachu. Pikachu is there. It gives me a electric immunity with Lightning Rod. It's with Lightning Ball. Many people underestimate how strong that thing actually is. First of all, before I go into this, I get all forms. It's confirmed. I can all the cosplay forms, all the courage it gets. I can use these. I can even give it a cosplay form and don't use the move it has to bluff some things maybe. But yeah, Pikachu, it won't come often. It's a 1 point mon, but I very much love Pikachu. 90 speed is decent. All the, that's the phone, I'm sorry for that, I will leave that ringing. With all the event moves it gets, I have to be careful on what I try to combine, and with Lightning Rod Static it does not always work, but it gets all the event moves, Extreme Speed, Endure, Fly, Surf. There's so much this thing gets. Volt Tackle, of course, very strong stab, and yeah, what I want to say, many people underestimate how strong Pikachu actually is. With the Lightning Ball, the attack and the attack gets doubled. Like, there's no doubt, I will probably always run Lightning Ball this thing. I just have to. It's basically like a Mega Stone for Pikachu, if you want it like that. So I have to run Lightning Ball. That's one thing. It's not very versatile at, but it's a 1 point mon. I mean, I'm praising it probably a lot right now, but it's still a 1 point mon. I will bring it maybe to 2 weeks probably or something like that. Unless the matchup was great, but I'm still praising a lot because with the Lightning Ball it gets doubled. 55 attack. It has 55 attack. That gets doubled. You know what has less attack than that with doubled attack? Azumarill. Azumarill has a base attack set of 50. And the attack gets doubled. So Pikachu is actually stronger on the offensive side as Azumarill. It's not as good as defensively, like, it dies to everything. Let's be honest, it dies to everything. At 55 HP, 40 defense, 50 special defense, it dies to everything. Unless it's immune to that with Lightning Rod. Pikachu, you don't switch that in unless you're a very ballsy and predictive electric move, but the offensive capabilities, like special attacks at 50 gets doubled, the attacks that gets doubled, all the coverage moves it gets, I very much like the potential of Pikachu, and in the one game I bring it, I can make it shine, hopefully. Like I said, it's a 1 point mon. I'm praising it a lot right now, but it's at a 1 point mon, so it's not a each week bring like other mons I have. But I very much like Pikachu for 1 point, so I got that, basically the mascot of my team. But yeah, this is the full team for my GPC draft. Leave your opinions about that in the comments. Same with nickname suggestions. I don't have any nickname set yet, so if you have an idea, definitely shoot it at me. If I like it, it will come into play. If I don't like it, I mean, you tried. I still like to hear every suggestion you have for me. But yeah, that's all for this video. The first battle will actually go up this Saturday. I hope you're excited for that. For the GBC recap, GBA recap, I want to do that this weekend. This didn't quite work out because of some stuff. It will still come out this week, but it will be a little different. It's more like a press conference where I answer your questions. So if you have any questions for my GBA recap, you can leave in the comments as well, right here, if you've come so far. But yeah, that's my draft. Let me know what you think. I will see you Saturday for the battle. And yeah, hit me on Twitter, Facebook, all links in the description. I will see you another time.